Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today I'm here with wardrobes part 2. So I have some more chatting to do about wardrobes, just a little bit. And today is my first day that I am, well not really, this is the first time you're seeing. Is that true? No, I guess you would have been last on Sunday. Anyway. I'm filming with a new microphone, so yay! So hopefully maybe we can get the sound quality a little better. You may not notice it as much in ththese videos, but hopefully in the sew-alongs and stuff we will have some better sound quality and more consistency when I'm switching back and forth to filming on my phone versus my actual camera. So anyway, that's exciting. But okay, today part 2 of wardrobes. I will be getting into the actual pieces that I'm putting in my wardrobe. In fact, I think part 3 is going to be everything that I'm pulling from my current closet. And then the plans for the things that I'm going to make are actually going to come in the form of modules, like my normal module videos. And I am still sewing my current module that I did the plans for. Gosh, it's been a little bit now. I may not get the sweater vest finished before I show the actual lookbook. My knitting is just slowed way down, which is I mean, I've just been very busy. So that happens. It will get made, but it's just taking me a little bit longer. So I think I might go ahead and share the other pieces that I've made, the 5 pieces that I've made from that, and then we'll show off the sweater vest. Maybe by the time the end of the, I've made everything for my spring wardrobe and have everything together, maybe then the sweater vest will be finished. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about the cost of sewing. I get asked that question a lot. You know, is it cheaper? Do you find it a lot cheaper to make your own clothes? And I want to kind of talk about that question. Now, the reason that this is coming about is that I recently made my mom a new top. And this is the Ashton top by Helen's Closet, and we made the cropped version for her, and we lengthened the cropped view by 2 inches, just so it's still boxy and cropped, but we didn't want the long, because there's a longer length in that pattern too, but we didn't want the longer length. And she has 2 size ranges. They both come with the pattern when you buy it, but I think one is size 0 to, well, I'm not gonna be able to remember what the 2 ranges are, but a few of the sizes overlap, like size 12 to 16 maybe overlaps, and you have one size range that's made with the B cup and then the other size range that's made with a D cup. Now, my mom and I both kind of fit into the size 12, her in the B cup and me in the D cup, so I'll make the bigger size, but I really want to make myself this top because I tried this on to send her a picture and it's a little too tight across the bust. Definitely want more room for it to fit properly in the armholes and stuff. I don't have any footage of her in this yet, and I won't for this video, but hopefully soon I'll have some footage of her in this. But I'll pop a picture, the picture that I sent, it's a totally non-scripted, me just snapping a picture after I finish sewing it in my sewing room, kind of give you an idea. Again, this was not made for me, so it doesn't fit me great. It's tight across the butt. It's not really tight, it just doesn't, it's not fitting like it should. Like I would have done, if it didn't come with the D cup version, I would have done a full bust adjustment for myself. She doesn't need that. So anyway, while making this top, I got to thinking about that question of, you know, is it cheaper to make your own clothes than to buy? And I think in previous years, yes, like that was definitely the case. When people bought fewer clothes, but bought, you know, the best quality they could afford pretty much. I think I read a statistic once that up until maybe the 60s, people spent 25% of their income on clothing. And today, people spend like 6% of their income on clothing, which is interesting. You know, we just don't put as much importance, I guess, on our clothes, and also that can be taken back to fast fashion. Now, this video, I realize I am going to talk a little bit about fast fashion, and I realize there's a whole conversation. We're not going to today about you know, the environmental impacts, the human impacts, all sorts of things with fast fashion on more of a humanitarian side, which is huge, and I encourage everyone to research where your clothes come from and all of that because it is very, very important, but that's just not a topic that we're going to dig into today on this video. So I'm, you know, kind of pushing that issue aside just for ease. I mean, we can have that conversation another time. It's just not the conversation we're going to be having today on this video. So yes, I think that in previous years, it was probably much cheaper to make your own clothes than to buy them. I think that that was definitely, my mother grew up in a household where her great aunts, who were pretty much like her grandmothers, really, they were, well, that whole generation, there were 9. And my great-grandmother was one of the older ones, but really it was 2 of her sisters that kind of took on raising my grandma for the most part. So they were like my mom's grandmothers, basically. And they were both professional seamstresses. So they made all of my mom's clothing because it was cheaper for them to do that, to make my mom her clothing. My grandmother never sewed, though, oddly enough, or still doesn't. She's still living. But, you know, they made all of her stuff because it was much cheaper for them to buy the fabric and then make the outfits and that sort of thing. Now, today, when people ask that question, in most cases, no, it is not. It is not. If you're just looking at dollars, no, it is not cheaper to sew than to make. I mean, if I were someone, I mean, I could make designer stuff that rivals designer things, obviously for much cheaper. Sean from Kittenish Behavior just put out recently 2 different videos where she looks at like high-end designer things and then patterns that you can use to recreate them. I mean, I'm talking like, I was watching one of them last night and it was a skirt or something for like $2,000. Like, who buys those? Who wears that stuff? But obviously, yes, you could make that skirt for much cheaper than you could buy. But for the average person, can I make a t-shirt as cheap as one that I could buy at Old Navy or Target? This is kind of where the fast fashion, obviously, there's a lot more to that. But again, we're not going to talk about that in this video. No, I cannot make anything as cheap as what you could buy at an Old Navy, a Target, an H&M. Maybe I could make things comparable to something that you would buy at Nordstrom's, or actually I would argue that it would be better made than maybe you'd buy, you know, your... Okay, sorry for the interruption. My memory card filled up. Darn it. Okay, so yes, I would argue that I could make something very comparable probably that you would buy on the regular area of Nordstrom's. But all that being said, okay, so I'm going through my wardrobe. I'm doing this whole capsule challenge and really thinking about my clothes a lot more, even especially like what I make, because what I make is not even something as easy as just going to Old Navy and buying a couple of t-shirts. I'm actually putting, you know, time and thought and a lot of time. You know, a lot more goes into obviously making an outfit than just going out and buying it. I think that this is good for one reason, that it really makes you, and not always, but it can help you think more about what you are willing to put the time and the resources into. You know, it's not as easy as just popping into wherever and grabbing a couple of things that you need and then, you know, popping back out. Now, is that to say that you should never use that ease? No. In fact, I have bought two wardrobe garments for my spring wardrobe, and that's mostly because, well, they're both sweaters, and I'm just not going to be able to take the time to knit them, number one, and I really want more of a fine gauge, which I can't knit as fine of a gauge as what I was wanting. Maybe the white one I could have, it doesn't matter. I did make the decision to purchase tops, but they were thoughtful purchases because I'm going off of this capsule. They're things that I need in order to create all these outfits that I am thinking about. So I use the word need loosely, you know what I mean. So cost when it comes to sewing, because I want a closet where when I walk in, things are cohesive, that it is easy for me to put outfits together. And this goes beyond even like this capsule that plan that I'm following right now that I got from Jen from the Your Everyday Style website. I purchased that and spoke about that in the first one. So this kind of goes beyond that. And I think that this has a lot to do with me just sewing in kind of a color palette. Not all of my clothes go together by any means, but I think that that definitely helps make things more cohesive. The modules that I put together, so when I am making new things, even if I'm not thinking in terms of a 39-piece wardrobe like I am right now, although again, a lot of these items, I'm not making really that much for my closet right now. Most of it I was able to pull from what was already there, which is exciting. But making things that, you know, the sewing in the modules, I think that that has made my closet, it's put it in a good position. Is it perfect yet? No, well, it'll never be perfect, but it's not quite where I want it yet. And I think that this is where the cost of sewing kind of comes in. So I want everything in my closet to be things that I feel good in. Now, is everything gonna be like the best? No, probably not, but I would like everything to be at least close. I would like, you know, one of the things that Jen uses in her podcast, she talks about, you know, use the laundry day scenario as a way to like weed out your closet. So if you come to a point where you really need to do laundry and you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I have to do laundry, I have nothing to wear, anything that's in your closet that you could wear, if it's in there and you're not wearing it because, you know, it doesn't fit, it's not, you know, you just don't like it, but you're at a point where you need clothes because you just need to do laundry, then those clothes all need to go because they're just not being worn. Even when they're like a last resort, they're not being worn. I love that. So I want everything in my closet to be things that I readily would grab. So that means I want to be comfortable in all of my clothes. I want to feel good. I mean, this doesn't mean I want a wardrobe of sweats by any means. You know, I talked about the difference, is also another quote that she used about, Tom Ford quote about psychological comfort a lot of times is more important than physical comfort. So that's it. I want to be psychologically comfortable in all of my clothes and physically comfortable. You know, I want to be able to move properly. I want things to fit correctly so that I am comfortable. Do I need to be able to run a marathon in my whole wardrobe? No. Do I need to run a marathon ever? No. But you kind of get what I'm meaning here. So I think that this is where being able to sew your own clothes is in fact cheaper than buying, because I'm not just buying things quickly, number one. So I'm not just walking into whatever store, and it doesn't have to be fast fashion. It could be anything more like, I don't know, Banana Republic, Ann Taylor, Nordstrom's, Macy's, whatever, going in and, you know, okay, I need a white t-shirt, and just buying the first, you know, white t-shirt, maybe trying on a couple even. I'm having to be a lot more thoughtful, and I'm fitting things. So going through that process, I am making myself a t-shirt that fits me properly, which is a big deal because I have a large chest. So getting a t-shirt that doesn't pull too tight across, but that also fits correctly in the shoulders. Sometimes I can get away with buying petite things, because I can get them to fit correctly in the shoulders and still buy a big enough size to fit my chest. Even with knits, wovens are still a whole other issue. Knits you can get to stretch. Wovens, yeah, not so much. But I am able to make things that I will grab. So in that sense, you know, if I had purchased that, I don't know, $20 t-shirt at the store, and then I spent $25 making this t-shirt. Yeah, the one I made was more expensive, but I'm gonna grab that more often. Number one, it's probably made with better fabric. It doesn't get the holes. We talked about that last time. But number two, it fits me and I feel more comfortable in it because the proportions are correct, because that's something that I can easily change. Even as I'm sewing, you know, when it comes to sleeve and, you know, t-shirt length. I mean, I could change that on a ready-to-wear one too, in all honesty. But, you know, things fit correctly in the shoulders. I can do narrow shoulder adjustments if I need to. I can do full bust adjustments. Whatever I need to do to make something fit me, I'm going to be more apt to grab that. So I think I have less of a chance of having things in my closet that I don't readily grab, or that are things that I'm like, well, it's fine. You know, it's a white t-shirt. It works. Now that being said, is everything that I make a winner? No. We saw my Frugal Frocks dress. That was not a winner. And while I could make it work, I could change it's the neckline really that what gets it. It'd be very easy to chop that off into a top, and I think it would be fine. But the neckline is what really bothers me, I think, on that. And that's where we go. And, I could keep that in my closet. I could change the neckline. Will I? Maybe, but it was not going to be anytime soon. So it's just going to sit in a UFO pile or hang in my closet, reminding me that I need to do that and just be something extra on my mind. So that one's probably going to go live somewhere else, find a new home for that dress, which is unfortunate because I do like all the finishings on it. But, we can't all have wins on everything. That's also a good lesson. But yeah, so I got to really thinking about this when I was making this top for my mom. So she had gone into a very nice boutique down in Florida where they were for the past, January to like the 1st of March, like 8 weeks, I think is what they go and stay down in Sanibel Island. Oops, Florida. Sorry. And she had gone into a really nice boutique that I always like to pop into as well. I very rarely buy anything, but I find it very inspirational. It looks like the beach. They have tons of linen. It's a really gorgeous shop. My sister buys stuff down there all the time, but she had found a pair of pants that she really liked, and she was trying on a shell to go on top of it. And she said as she was in the fitting room, she was noticing, because see, I'm rubbing off on my family members now too, that it was good, and she probably, would have bought it previously, but it was really expensive, number one. And she was like, it's such a simple shape. I think Whitney could make it. Now what she did fail to do was take a picture of herself in the dressing room. If you're ever in a dressing room and you're thinking, oh, I could remake this, take a picture of yourself in it, in the dressing room to help remember details. She was like, well, I can't walk through the store taking pictures of things. I'm like, no, but if you're trying things on in a dressing room, you can take out your phone and take a picture and then use that as inspiration to then make something, but whatever. So we were able to buy nice linen fabric. She wanted it in a pink. It's probably not the same color pink that she saw in the store, but that's okay. This was a pink that looks really good on her. It's part of her color palette. And we were able to make a top that fits her really well. And in this case, probably for less than what she would have paid in the store, but it was a higher end boutique. I think it was like a $60 shell maybe in the store. I was able to make it for about $40 because the linen is not inexpensive. And this one I needed a yard and a half, I think is what, maybe a yard and a quarter. I think I bought a yard and a half. And I'm just going to use the rest of it for all bias strips because it's a pretty color. But anyway, and that as I was making it just really got me thinking on, is it cheaper to make my own clothes? And yeah, I would push back that yes, it is. For those simple reasons. I'm building a closet where I want everything that comes out of it to be things that I love and that I feel good wearing and that have something to wear, multiple things to wear with it. If it's a separate, dresses are a little different because you can just wear a dress as a dress. Do I have things that are wearable that fit into my life? Because that's a big thing. I think for a while I was sewing things for my ideal life, the wardrobe that I kind of really wanted to have for whatever reason, but it wasn't a realistic, I just don't wear suits or, not that I'm going to quit making those things because I do think it's creatively, that's the other thing. This is also my hobby. So a lot of times I do need creative license to make something, even if it's ridiculous and something I won't wear very often. But yeah, I think, I was pushing to make less jeans back in the fall, which I think is a good idea. I think that's very easy to get in a rut. But I think what I was really pushing against was I was in a style rut. I was pulling the same things out every day because even after making quite a few of those items this past winter, I still feel like I was in a style rut. I was still grabbing my jeans and like a t-shirt and really finding that this is ridiculous. I need to figure out, I have gorgeous clothes. I need to figure out ways to wear them. And actually, a few of the pieces I made back in the fall are coming into my spring wardrobe and I'm wearing them a ton more because I have not weeded out. I've just moved everything that I'm not currently wearing, whether it's the colors for the season or, whatever, and put it into the upstairs closet. And that will come out when it's appropriate and when I do want to wear those things. And I'm finding that I'm just getting dressed a lot easier. I'm feeling more put together. Small baby steps. We're all getting there with the wardrobe. So, that was kind of a long blabby one. Again, I did show you a new top that I made, although unfortunately I don't have my mother actually in it. I'm going to have to send that to her. So, maybe I can get some footage for you guys to show you what that is. But it got me thinking on the cost of sewing versus ready to wear. And is it worth it? Again, I think there's definitely times where you do need to grab the easier ready-to-wear item. Again, I bought 2 sweaters for this capsule, and I'll be talking more about the items that I'm pulling from my wardrobe and the 2 items that I bought here soon, and we'll be doing a video on that. Will probably be the next one, and then hopefully the final one will be everything once I've made. I don't have a ton to make, and a few of them are quite easy. But yeah, that's kind of the plan going forward. I hope you guys are enjoying this kind of long-winded my own processing of my wardrobe and trying to pinpoint, where it's still lacking and where I'm missing it. Ideally, I just want a wardrobe where I can put together stylish outfits quickly and feel put together all the time, even if I'm not leaving my house, because I do work from home. So even when the world starts opening up a little bit more, I work from home. So, there are days where I don't put on makeup, which is fine. I think that's good for my skin. But yeah, I still want to be put together. I still want my hair to be fixed. So if someone comes to my door, I don't look like, I don't look like a scrounger. I just want to be put together. And yeah, make myself feel better, and so that I can be more productive. So that is the end goal in all of this. And I know I'm not alone. I think the whole COVID season has just made all of us kind of go into this deep cocoon hibernation kind of state. And now it's time to kind of start to pull out of it a little bit as the seasons change. I feel like a butterfly coming out of my chrysalis. Okay, guys, that's all I have for today. Let's see. Friday, I have my second pair of Persephones. So that will be coming up on Friday. And then Sunday, we're back to the sew along. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye.